Before I move into showing you how to do the simulation, I want to go back to this question you just answered. It says, how do we change water from solid to liquid to gas, and what do we need to add or remove? Once you complete the simulation, you will know, okay? However, I do not want you to go back to this answer and change it. I do not want that. I want to see what you were thinking first when I read this, so make sure you don't touch this question, okay? So moving forward to the simulation, you will explore oxygen in its three states: solid, liquid, and gas, okay? I know we're used to only to seeing water, right? We see water as a solid in the form of ice. We see water as a liquid in the form of liquid water you drink. We see gas. We're used to seeing water evaporate into vapor. That's a gas. That's water gas, right? But there's almost everything basically has different states of matter, right? Oxygen is one of them. We're used to seeing oxygen in the air as a gas, right? We don't see it, but I mean, we know that oxygen is there, right? However, there's also the possibility that oxygen, not the possibility, but oxygen also turns into a liquid and a solid. However, you would need extremely low temperatures for that to happen. So that's why we're used to only seeing oxygen in the air, right? You've never seen liquid oxygen like in a lake, right? No. So for this simulation, I want you to look at the steps that are here. So step one, use the data below, fill in the box. Step two, log into your computer, then click on this link, click run now, click on states of matter, click on oxygen on the right side of the window, explore and record data on the data table, on this data table, okay? So step one, we're gonna click here. It'll take us to the simulation. Once you're in simulation, if you follow the steps, you're gonna click here. Then you're gonna click on states, that's states of matter. And now you're gonna click in oxygen. If you notice, these are the oxygen molecules, right? They have two little circles. The red circle represents an oxygen atom. And an oxygen molecule that you breathe is composed of two oxygen atoms, okay? Another word for this is molecule particles, right? More simple version. Anyway, so this is how oxygen looks in its solid state. If you go back to this table, the table asks you for a label diagram and asks you for a description of molecular movement. Description of molecular movement means how are the oxygen molecules moving? Are they moving fast? Are they moving slow? Well, if I look at this image, the oxygen molecules are all compressed together. They're compacted, right? They're almost static. They're not bouncing around or crashing against each other around all over the place. They're just right there, right? Just like ice, they're all almost together. They're put together, right? That's a solid. They're compacted together. So my description for this would be this. Oh, whoops, not that. Would be the oxygen molecules are compacted together, right? So that's my description of that molecular movement. And now to move into label diagram. Since now we're doing everything in computers because of distance learning, I'm going to teach you how to screenshot or snip a picture from your computer, okay? So all you have to do is you're going to go to the image that you want to snip or screenshot. You're going to go to your search bar in your computer and you're going to search for snip, okay? You might get Snip and Sketch or you can get Snip and Tool. It should come with your computer, any of those two, or maybe you might have something similar that allows you to screenshot or snip pick some pieces of your computer. So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to click on New, and I'm going to cut a little part of this. And that's what I want. That's what I want to see. Now you're going to go to File, Save As, and you're going to save it. You're going to give it a name, solid oxygen, and you're going to save it, okay? Now you go back to the page. Once you're in this page again, you're going to click, make sure that this line is where you want the picture to be inserted. Then you go here to Insert. You're going to click on Insert, down to Image. upload from computer, and you're going to choose your image. Okay, this is my image. I have to label this. So this is my diagram. Now I have to label it. I'm going to label it as oxygen molecules. Okay, that's it. Pretty easy. You're going to repeat the same steps for liquid oxygen and for gaseous oxygen. Okay, so you're going to snip this and tell me how does the movement change. Same thing with gas. Describe the movement of the molecules. Okay, once you're done with that, you're going to answer these 2 discussion questions. It says, what is the difference between the movement of the oxygen in the 3 states? And the second question asks you to increase the heat and tell me what happens to the oxygen when you increase the amount of thermal energy or heat. Okay, thermal energy is another word for heat, more scientific. Okay, so if you increase the heat, what happens to the movement of these molecules? Are they gaining energy, losing energy? What's going on? Okay, once you're done with that, now we got to move on to part 2 for phase changes. For phase changes, I want you guys to go back to the beginning of the simulation. You're going to follow the same steps, but this time you're going to click on phase changes right here. Same thing, we're going to still be looking at oxygen, but this time we're going to read these questions and we're going to answer them. Make sure you use the sentence frames, okay? The sentence frames are there to help you write down coherent, complete sentences, okay? Make sure you also read what the sentence frame states, okay? Don't just look at it and write whatever you want here, because that will not help you learn. So make sure you're actively paying attention to everything that's in this simulation worksheet, okay? So first question says, I'm going to do the first question with you guys. You're going to do the rest on your own. Now look at the movement of particles as you increase pressure and heat. As you increase pressure and heat, as you increase the heat and pressure, what happens to the movement of the particles inside the container? So let's increase heat. As you increase heat, what happens to the temperature? It's increasing right here, right? Now let's increase pressure. How do you increase pressure? So basically, to increase pressure, you need to bring the lid down. So see how when I bring the lid down, this number goes up. Look. See? It went from 0 to 38. 0 over here to 38 over here. Now what happens when I increase the heat? Now you can see the movement of the molecules. What happens to the movement of the molecules? So as the heat and pressure increases, the movement of particles, is it decreasing, increasing? What's going on? Okay, you're going to answer that here. And then you're going to answer the rest of the questions. Okay, once you're done with that, that's it. Then you will be done with this worksheet. So it'll take you around 10 minutes to complete, maybe less if you work through it and follow the instructions and watch this video. Okay, so that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, ask me in the next Zoom meeting or send me an email. Okay, you guys have my email. It's in the syllabus. Okay, have a great day, guys, and I look forward to seeing your faces in Zoom.